Closed captioning for Dream Weddings is brought to you by Gettysburg Smiles, Cosmetic and Family Dentistry, Office of Dr. Rita Temple.
Unique, different, special. Everyone wants their wedding to be an event to remember. But few couples are willing to step very far outside their comfort zones to make it happen. Not so for Alyson and Eric. They truly created a wedding that their guests will be talking about for a long time. Coming right up on Dream Weddings.
I'm Martine Cajas, the host of Dream Weddings, and I also run the House of Clarendon, a source for European-style wedding cakes. I love weddings. I especially love how every wedding is unique and tells the story of a couple's relationship. It's wonderful to be part of it all.
Tell me your story.
My best friend Ellen and his dad Bruce were working together as teachers. Ellen said, just pass along this email. So Bruce passed along the email to Eric, and
I made the connection. It was the holiday season, so it took us a little bit of time to finally get together, but we emailed back and forth a few times and finally got out on a date.
The joke always was Ellen got 60% credit and Bruce got 40.
Tell me how you proposed.
Allison's an endurance racer, and she happened to do a half marathon in Hershey, and I knew that her mother was running in it with her. I was waiting for her at the track because they finished in the track, and I hopped out onto the track. So there I was, about 10 feet behind the finish line, and when she finally made eye contact with me, it was almost like she was looking through me. And then once she saw the little box in my hand, she realized what was going on, and her face was priceless.
So what did you say?
I told her that I couldn't wait to watch her cross finish lines for the rest of our lives.
Years ago, I had said to one of my running friends, oh, I think it'd be so cool to, get engaged at the end of a race. It was perfect.
And it was such a big deal that I think it was in the newspaper too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the Patriot News. So all of the, friends and family from the Harrisburg area got to see it.
Now that's a very public proposal, but it fits for this couple. They just love to create an event. When we come back, we'll hear all about their unique wedding plans. So we're here at the Antique Auto Museum. Why did you choose this place to have your dream wedding?
Well, we looked at a bunch of places in Philadelphia where we're from, and we all along said we wanted to do something different. For the last of 8 weddings this year, there were 7 last year, so we just wanted a change. And I'm from the Harrisburg area, so Hershey is, kind of in between, a little closer to home. And I brought Eric here one day to look, and I knew that when I lost him in the building, that it was done, that he was okay here.
So you're not from this area?
No, I'm from Philadelphia. Once I walked in here with the cars, I'm not really a car aficionado, but I still love the scene, and it's just a different idea for a dream wedding.
Yeah, it's beautiful and it's interesting. It gives people something to look at. For those who aren't dancing the whole time, there are things to see and do.
This is a destination wedding in a way.
I would say it's probably 75 to 80% coming from out of town.
Yeah, from Philly, Florida, California. We have some family all over the country. So yeah, the Hershey Lodge is going to be booked that weekend.
I also hear that you're doing something special for your rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, well, our rehearsal dinner is going to be at Hollywood Casino on the 4th or 5th floor of a building that overlooks their racetrack. And on that Friday night, there's horse racing. Other than working on a golf course, I also am a semi-professional poker player. So that's where the casino comes into play. It should be a really, really fun Friday night.
The thing that's important to us about this whole weekend is that it's fun and relaxed, that there's nothing too formal about it, whether it's enjoying the horse races or just enjoying the food and drinks or going downstairs and putting some money on a table. It's fun for everybody.
Tell me about your bridal party.
I have 5 groomsmen. I'm an only child. They have been the closest things that I've had to brothers for my whole life. We're bonded.
Well, I have 4 that'll be there with me that day. Ellen, my best friend who had set us up, tragically passed away in January. Yeah, so it's been a tough process. We're doing things throughout the ceremony and just kind of the day to keep her memory there. And I know I'll feel her there with me all day, but yeah, it's hard to think about that there'll be 4, not 5 up there.
Are you doing something special to honor Ellen?
Mm-hmm. Inside all of the bouquets, I believe it's going to be an orchid. Growing up and over the past years, whenever I was sad, Ellen used to always bring me an orchid. So it really represents her.
It's beautiful what you're doing for her.
Thank you.
Because of her, both of you guys are here together.
Yeah, absolutely. The
And
60%.
Bruce. 60% and 40%.
Yeah.
Choosing this particular place, they're gonna be blown away.
Yeah, and it takes them to right back to the place where we got engaged. We're right here in Hershey.
So if you've never been to the Antique Auto Museum at Hershey, you're in for a treat. This is crazy. Here, look at all these cars.
You see, it's not Pep Boys.
Yeah. And you do weddings.
We do weddings, a lot of them these days.
So you have to give me a tour from the ceremony to the cocktail hour to the reception. I want to see it all.
Wonderful. They're going to utilize all 3 floors of the building. We'll start at the top where they're going to have their ceremony. Most brides like to get married in front of this grand window, and so their ceremony is going to be about 6 o'clock, sundown, really beautiful. This is our main gallery, and it's called Sea to Shining Sea. You start off in the 1900s in New York City. There's a division of Hershey in the 20s. Directly in front of us is Miami in the 30s, and then we'll continue on through the decades across the country to the more current cars. We will have cocktail tables and a great bar set up. We've all been at weddings where there's nothing to do and you're just waiting for the bride and groom to come, but here we give you more than an hour's worth of artifacts to see. And really at the museum at any given time, we have about $30 million worth of cars on display. Now I'm going to take you into our lower level gallery.
Wow.
And this is where the reception will be held. We really encourage people to remember what this looks like right now and use your imagination, because right now we are open for business and people come to see the cars. They want to see every detail about them, so the fluorescent lighting is on. For her event, fluorescent will shut off. Sconces, chandeliers, track lighting, all done on dimmer switches. Very romantic, very elegant, and really can give it the look they're looking for an evening event.
Do you have anyone besides your family helping you?
Yeah, we do. We decided to have a wedding coordinator, and we went with the Wedding Lounge. It's Janelle and Heather,
Yes.
and they've been fabulous. They're very on board with all of our ideas. They're very, very organized and easy to work with. I would definitely suggest to any other bride, if there is one place to splurge on, get a wedding coordinator.
I met with Heather Rohr from the Wedding Lounge at the diner inside the Auto Museum.
I'm glad they hire a coordinator. I tell always my brides it is essential because they're spending so much money and you are literally a fraction of the cost.
We're there to help everyone, guests, vendors, everyone involved with the wedding. We try and make things easier for everybody. It seems like a well-oiled machine where it's organized and there's not like all this space where people don't know what they're doing or where they're going. We come up with a timeline for the bride and groom that talks about how the whole day is going to go. We just kind of ask you questions about how you want the day to go. We make the plan how you want it in coordination with the bride and the vendors, and then we're there the day up just to make sure it happens the way you want it to. We should be able to fix the problem before the bride even knows it exists.
Perfect. Every bride wants to believe that things will run exactly as planned, but they rarely do. But with a good coordinator, it might actually feel perfect.
I sat in with Alyson and Eric on an early planning and tasting session with JDK.
So when it comes to food, it's very important that you present it beautifully. People really eat with their eyes, so it's as important that it looks as good as it tastes. The new trend is to actually do more of comfort foods, and it's all about really taking that comfort food and putting a twist to it. So what we have here, we have 2 different hors d'oeuvres that will actually be tray passed, mozzarella, tomato pipettes. So in this little pipette part, this little eyedropper is actually the balsamic vinaigrette. So please enjoy this box. We've actually got the
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, who drinks balsamic?
Next item we're going to try is the citrus-infused crab salad. These are created to look like those little, remember those orange creamsicle push pops?
You go to the ice cream shop.
Yeah, you go to their ice cream truck. It's like a shooter. So this is the mac and cheese. This would actually be mac and cheese martini bar. There'd be an assortment of toppings to enhance the mac and cheese.
Dave, where do you get your inspiration?
Inspirations is everyday living. You really want to be aware of your surroundings because you never know when you're going to be inspired.
When we talked about, what we wanted in a wedding, it was, we didn't want just another ballroom sit-down, 4-course meal.
This is great.
So how's the mac and cheese?
Oh,
And the great
excellent.
thing is this wedding's going to be completely different. It's a new style of presentation that they're doing a lot in the big city. It's actually called the short plate dinner stations. So people are meant to come up and get a martini glass of macaroni and cheese, and then later on come up and get meatloaf with the mashed potato swirls, come up and get a trio of sliders. So it's just very different.
Now, I don't think you should tell your guests what you're doing. Let them be surprised.
Right.
Oh, they're going to be blown away. You're really taking some chances and really stepping outside the box.
And the food kept on coming. Regular sweet potato fries, meatloaf and mashed potato swirls, 3 kinds of sliders, traditional chicken parmesan and crab cake, salatinis, and Thanksgiving dinner, seriously.
One of my favorite butler hors d'oeuvres that we're doing for the wedding is the edible spoon. The edible spoon is actually Thanksgiving dinner on an edible spoon. It's a little bit of turkey, it's a little bit of mashed potato, gravy, and then the cranberries on top.
Okay, when I say ridiculous, I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean it in a huge compliment. This is ridiculous.
I'm happy I didn't eat lunch before this. I don't know how you're doing.
This is our executive chef, Steve Dunlap. He is the one
Steve.
responsible for all this amazing food.
Wait a minute, Steve, you need this. You need this. Wow.
Every event can be different for us, and we're not doing the same thing every day. And like David said, he'll come up with the theme, and we'll sit down and we'll come up with a menu that works with the theme. It's really a lot of fun. It's not just, okay, this is our set menu, here you go. No, what would you like? What are you looking for? And we can work with that.
It's very much of an interactive experience instead of just food on a table.
Dave, you just took food to a different level.
Well, thank you. So now that we've got this amazing menu, we need to create an atmosphere. You have an amazing location. All of the angles of the cars, the walls, it's a very hard line building. So you really want to soften this space with some very beautiful elements. We're gonna do a combination of 60-inch rounds, 60-inch squares. The long tables, they're not low, they're actually bar height. We've really created a lot of levels. We've created a lot of visual interest. Then, once you have this beautiful layout, then you want to ground the room. And the way that you ground a room is you start with your linen. You're stabilizing your design, you're stabilizing your room concept, and then in specific places you have that linen that just really pops. The jewelry to this whole room is truly the florals. With a successful event, you want to make sure that you touch all 5 senses at some point in the night. When people walk into a situation, if it's not all round tables, or there's some tables that are a little higher than others, or there's a food station that's a little bit different than they're used to, it forces them to think with the other side of the brain, which is the fun side of the brain, which is a successful party.
JDK are extremely creative from every department, from food to decoration.
Because it's a Jewish wedding, one of the things that they will be doing is creating our chuppah. And a chuppah is, it's 4 posts and usually a cloth at the top, and it represents a Jewish canopy and a Jewish home that the 2 of us are building together. And it's open on all sides because it's supposed to resemble us having a home that's open to friends and family and hospitality.
This is my first time on a Jewish wedding, so I'm intrigued.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are similar to other weddings and a lot of things that are unique. One of the things that will start that day that is unique is we have what you call a ketubah signing. And the ketubah is a Jewish marriage document. There's something called the 7 blessings. Usually the rabbi recites those, but it's really special. Eric's father, Bruce, has been practicing, and he will be reciting the 7 blessings in Hebrew. And we're also giving honors out to some family members to read them in English. And then there's also the breaking of the glass at the end of the reception, or at the end of the ceremony.
That's my job.
That's your job.
Yeah. And what that resembles is how fragile and precious life is, and how it can be shattered into a million pieces, and just how important it is to love and respect each other, and also to remind us all that even in times of happiness of us getting married, there is that, that sadness throughout the world, and people are suffering.
What are the reception traditions?
Once we finish our dance and our parent dances, we're going to invite everybody up to do the traditional hora.
Everybody gathers around in a circle and we all join arms and carry on a little bit, and eventually the 2 of us will get into the center of the circle and sit in chairs, and we'll invite some strong people up to put us up in the air in these chairs, and they'll dance us around the room up in the air.
Yeah, it's really, really fun, and it gets the party started, and just the happiness.
So let's talk about the honeymoon. Normally, this is your job.
I really wanted to go to Hawaii at first. But, we thought about the all-inclusive thing, and we thought about having to plan out Hawaii, which usually isn't an all-inclusive, and do we really want to plan more?
We decided to do an all-inclusive, so I looked into VIP vacations, and Angie has been fabulous. She was so helpful.
So Angie, you're the travel consultant for Alyson and Eric. Where are they going?
They're going to the island of St. Lucia. Their accommodations are at Sandals Grand St. Lucian.
That's a very popular resort, isn't it?
It is. They're located all over the Caribbean. In St. Lucia, there are 3 Sandals resorts, so they'll actually have exchange privileges with 2 other Sandals. VIP Vacations specializes in destination weddings and honeymoons, of course. That's really our niche market. It's providing that expert advice. That expert advice could come down to, exactly which room they want to stay in. Originally they wanted to go to Hawaii. St. Lucia is known as the Hawaii of the Caribbean.
And there's no charge for your services? Wow, that's great.
They could have spent hours and hours on researching which Sandals is the best for them. Since they are in Philadelphia and we're here in Lancaster County, we actually decided to Skype. And sitting there on their couch with their dog, and we're honeymoon planning, so it was great.
Well, it sounds like Alyson and Eric are ready to have a great dream wedding and dream honeymoon. When we come back, it's time for their big weekend. And now for something really special. Lancaster County Motors and Dream Weddings are giving away a new Kia Soul. Just stop into any Lancaster County Motors location to enter. And you don't have to be planning a dream wedding to win. Anyone at least 18 years of age is eligible. Learn more at dreamweddingspa.com. Now, Dream Weddings is also a magazine. Visit dreamweddingspa.com to learn how to get your free copy. I showed up to watch them transform the Antique Audio Museum. Their attention to detail was evident everywhere you looked. And the transformation was complete. The rehearsal dinner at Hollywood Casino was a huge hit. They even ran a race in Alyson and Eric's honor. And they presented the trophy. Finally, it was a big day. Makeup by Chelsea was on hand to help Alyson and all the bridal party get ready. Chelsea, she looks radiant, absolutely beautiful. What was the first step you did?
Well, we did the airbrush makeup, which is incredible for brides. It looks flawless. It stays so well. And then we did some warmer tones to bring out her beautiful blue eyes. And we extended her lashes a little bit to help them pop even more. And just right up her cheeks to make her radiant for the day. You just want them to be that perfect blushing bride that everybody wants to be.
The guests really enjoyed the food during the cocktail hour. We made sure that Alyson and Eric were the first to see the transformed reception area.
On the count of 3, you get to experience your dream wedding.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my
Oh my goodness.
So
This is awesome.
amazing.
It doesn't even look like the same room.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Stunning.
Thanks.
I can't wait for everybody else.
Yeah, get them in here.
And the guests were just blown away. Congratulations. Tell me how you felt.
I don't know, I was in awe with everything that we saw from when we first went upstairs and saw the chuppah.
And the food and the music and it has been everything that we could ask for.
Did you have your dream wedding?
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Blowing bubbles filled with colors, they burst in the bright blue sky. I'll be dreaming of you for a lifetime until you always find a way to make me smile. Well, everybody else is busy buttoning up. We'll be pulling out the rug from the world. We live, we laugh, we love, and color live. We laugh, we love, and color. And
What did you think of that? It just goes to show that you don't have to go to a big city to have an over-the-top dream wedding. Thank you, Alyson and Eric, for sharing your day with us. To JDK, the Antique Audio Museum of Hershey, and to all the Central Pennsylvania professionals that made that day possible. Thank you. See you next time. Exactly. What did you think of that?